Amnesty International on Thursday morning, August 4th, came out with a scathing report accusing Ukraine of war crimes throughout the operations against Russia by, quote, putting civilians in harm's way by establishing bases and operating weapons systems in populated residential areas, including in schools and hospitals, unquote. The Amnesty International report said, quote, such tactics violate international human law and endanger civilians as they turn civilians into military targets, unquote. They note that the ensuing Russian strikes, which are against the military targets, have thereby killed civilians and destroyed civilian infrastructure. AI said, quote, being in a defensive position does not exempt the Ukrainian military from respecting international humanitarian law, unquote. AI researchers spent several months investigating Russian strikes in Kharkiv, Donbass, and the Mykolaiv regions, inspecting strike sites, and interviewing witnesses, survivors, and relatives of victims of attacks, and carried out remote sensing and weapons analysis. AI, of course, is a very sophisticated and long-standing human rights organization. The International Human Rights Organization concluded that Ukraine had viable alternatives to establish base and operating weapons systems safely far away from civilians, but instead chose to put them in the middle of civilian areas, which in and of itself is a major war crime. Furthermore, AI found that Ukraine launched many strikes from civilian areas that put civilians in target zones when Russia sought to destroy military targets.